here we have a bag. It's called a beekeeping kit. So the beekeeping kit comes with a pair of gloves. It comes with a bee suit. So these are protective gears. It comes with a pair of gumboots. It comes with a hive tool. It comes with a bee brush. And lastly, it also comes with what we call the smoker. So the beekeeping kit generally have everything you need in handling the bees. So smokers are usually used to puff smoke into the hive to help in calming the bees. So smokers generally work in a very easy manner. You simply put anything natural like wood shavings, dried leaves or dried grass. You put in there, lit them. Once they catch fire, you put back the lid so that we don't need the fire, all we need is the smoke. So once you put back the lid, the fire goes off, and using this point, you can easily puff the smoke into the hive. So in a scenario where you have, for example, a hive like that one, once you've lit it, puffing the smoke is as simple as putting the nozzle right next to the entrance, and you puff the smoke. You also lift the upper lid and also puff the smoke. So this process usually continues throughout the time that you are handling the bees. It will help in calming the bees. Another accessory we have is what we call a bee brush. A bee brush is mostly used in cleaning the hive or during harvesting. For example, if this is our hive and I want to harvest honey that I've already realized inside the hive, what I do is remove the frame and then brush off the bees. So the bristles of the bee brush are very, very soft. So these are meant not to kill the bees, but to simply remove them from clinging from their frames and back into their hive. So you simply brush them off, and then you pick your frame that is full of honey for extraction later. So that's the purpose of the bee brush. So when I mentioned cleaning, sometimes if the hive has taken too long without being colonized, dust has settled inside. So you can easily remove the frames and simply dust off all this that has settled inside, return back to the frames and put it up for colonization. Next, we have what we call hive tools. So a hive tool is more like a lever that is used in opening up or separating the hives. No matter the hive, whether Kenya Toba hive or Langstroth hive, the hive tool comes in handy. In most cases, once the bees have settled inside the hive, they usually seal off any opening or any movable parts inside the hive with what we call propolis. So it's usually a very, very tough and sticky substance that they produce from their body with the help of resins that they pick from bark of trees or sometimes even bark of leaves. So what happens in that scenario, once a colony settles, you'll realize that opening the lid will become very hard with your bare hands. So using the hive tool, you can easily look for a free space in between, fix the hive lid, and help you in lifting the lid off. So it's also used in removing the frames inside the hive because they will be totally fixed. So you can either use this end to put right in between the frames and the lift, or this end also right in between the frames and the lift. And then we have this one that we call scraper or a knife for during the process of what we call the process that we are preparing the frames. Once we harvest the frames, what usually happens is that we have a well-built comb right in this space, and the comb has been filled with honey. And when the honey is ready for harvesting, what bees does is they come and seal it with what we call a thin layer of wax. So before you put it inside the machine for extraction, you need to remove that thin layer of wax. And this is one of the equipment that is used in removing that thin layer of wax. Another equipment that is used in removing that thin layer of wax is called the decapping fork. So there we have two alternatives. The reason why we are removing that thin layer of wax is because when you put the frame inside the machine without removing the layer, no matter how hard you spin the machine, that honey will never come out. So we are removing the layer to give access to the honey, since such that now what we call the centrifuge force, once it will be acting on the frame when the machine is spinning, it will be able to remove the the honey from the cells. So that's the main reason why we have to decap the thin layer of wax. What we have here is called a cage. So this cage is usually used to help in extracting honey that has been harvested from the Kenya top bar hive. Let me just take you back to the Kenya top bar hive. So the Kenya top bar hive comes with the top frames only. You look at the Kenya top bar hive and the frame from the Langstroth hive, there is a big difference. So the frame for the Langstroth hive has what we call the side bars and the bottom bar. The frames from the Kenya top bar hive lack the side bars and the bottom bar. So the bees, when they are building the comb, it usually hangs there freely, which in most cases ends up breaking during the process of probably harvesting or maybe managing the hive. In this scenario, we mentioned that this compartment plus the stitching wires help in holding the combs firmly. So breakage is usually very, very minimal. So in this scenario, during the process of harvesting, we usually cut the combs. So you will remain with the comb in your hand. So it becomes very hard to extract that comb directly into the machine. So what we do is we put it inside this cage. So the combs are usually placed inside the cage. You close it, and then now that's what you take to the centrifuge machine. You place it inside to help with the extraction of the comb. So this is the centrifuge machine. That's how it's placed inside. You can have 2 for the 2-frame centrifuge, and you can have 3 for the 3-frame centrifuge machine. So in that manner, you can easily extract combs from the Kenya top bar hive without smashing them. So it's like you are extracting them in the form of the Langstroth hive frames. So it has improved. So these are generally inventions that were done to improve honey that comes from the Kenya top bar hive.